Hello everybody, Claudia Boleyn here, and today I'm making another feminist video because apparently you guys are really hungry for feminist videos right now from me, and I haven't given you one in a while because of the big Doctor Who series that I reviewed, so I thought I'd give you one now. I'm going to answer a question I get asked all the time in my ask box on Tumblr and here on YouTube and on Twitter and stuff, and that question is, what is it like being a known feminist online? I should say I'm not calling myself a known feminist online, that's not my words, that's the question that I get asked quite a lot. I'm kind of like semi-known. I'm not like internet famous or anything, and I mean I'm not like, people don't know who I am in the real world, but in the confines of Tumblr where I lurk, quite a few people tend to know who I am, and I think that what people mean by saying a known feminist is that I'm sort of an outspoken feminist, and I have quite a few viewers on my YouTube channel, so I think that's it. But I just want to emphasise that that's not me calling myself a well-known feminist. I don't have an ego that big, and I know I'm not really well-known or anything like that, but that's kind of why I'm using that wording. So in answer to the question, what is it like to be a sort of known feminist online, it is fun, worthwhile, and scary. I get misquoted a lot. I get a lot of people sending me very angry messages asking me to explain myself and sending me quotes, apparently quotes that I've said which have never left my mouth or left my fingertips on my keyboard of my laptop ever in my life, often asking me to explain my opinions on topics that I have no idea what these topics even are. I've never heard of these topics before, using words I don't know the meanings of, so that's really frustrating. There's a lot of misinformation floating around. People constantly quote me with these generic evil feminist lines such as kill all the men and all men should be eradicated and men are not necessary for the future of the human race, which is technically and scientifically true, although I didn't say that. That's science talking, not me, so don't have a go at me for that. It's not my fault that we could technically continue the human race without men. Not that I'm saying that's a good idea, because I'm a bisexual woman, you know, I find some men very attractive, and it would be a real shame to lose their pretty little faces. I mean, I get enough shit for the things I actually do say, so I don't need the added help. I get misogynistic slurs and threats and stuff, and I mean, that's not funny at all. There's no way I can deliver that in like a comical, sarcastic tone, because it's really scary. When I first started doing this, like, don't get me wrong, I was like a proper lib fem. I got into feminism first of all because in sixth form we were learning a bit about feminism, and actually we got given some of How to Be a Woman by Caitlin Moran, and like at this point in my feminist journey, Caitlin Moran is not one of my feminist icons, because I think she kind of stands for very sort of white-centric, middle-class feminism, which doesn't really stand for all women, and I think feminism needs to stand for all women, otherwise what's the point? But anyway, that's kind of how I started, and I was really one of those feminists that was like, I don't hate men, I love men, you know, I just want equality, and I was really sugar-coated and sweet about it, and even then I would get like people insulting my appearance and people calling me the B word and the C word and the W slur, and they'd call me a slut and all sorts of stuff, and there was one video where I didn't have any like cleavage. I mean, I don't have cleavage, I really have the smallest boobs ever, but but there was kind of like, you could kind of see a little outline of boobs in this top I was wearing, but it wasn't like, you couldn't see them or anything, I was just chatting on camera. And I remember this one male person on YouTube commented that he was having a wank to my video, and that was really disgusting at the time and really scary, because it was like I was talking about a political issue and I was just dressed normally in my normal clothes and things, and even then I couldn't control the fact that people were sexualising and objectifying me, and that was incredibly scary because I was a young girl and I was a young feminist, and I wasn't ready for that stuff yet. You see, nowadays it actually doesn't bother me at all. Obviously it's not very nice when you get people threatening to rape you, people saying you deserve to be raped, people saying they want to punch you in the face, all that kind of thing. But to be honest, it's something you kind of get used to, and you shouldn't have to get used to as a feminist online, but you do get used to it. And because it happens so often, it just kind of doesn't really impact you anymore, and sometimes it can be quite amusing. Now, don't get me wrong, people threatening to rape you is never amusing, it's horrific. But it can be amusing to see quite how many of these strange little people you are pissing off with your words, and that gives me great strength to know that there are people out there that are so obsessed with me that they're on all my videos threatening to do these things to me. I'm clearly a big part of these people's lives now. Which is strange, because like I say, I'm kind of semi-known online, like on Tumblr, like that is incredibly small, like people don't know who I am, but these people are willingly putting themselves through watching me all the time, and that does make me laugh. So if you're watching this video, to those particular trolls, then, you know, I was going to say keep on keeping on, but I don't want you to keep on sending stuff like that, because it's disgusting. But, you know, I hope life's going alright, and I hope that one day you manage to break yourself from the cycle of watching my videos if you hate me that much, and you are able to resist the urge to send me misogynistic slurs and hate speech. Now, something else that happens a lot, being sort of known-ish on Tumblr, is that people compliment my eyebrows a lot. I find that in the feminist community that has become like one of the pinnacle of compliments, of friendship and love and adoration, is to compliment another woman's eyebrows. So I often get messages from people telling me that my eyebrows are on point, or that they're 10 out of 10, or that I'm rad. Rad is a word I get sent a lot, which is lovely. I love that kind of experience of being on Tumblr, where there's this really supportive experience that a lot of people don't understand about Tumblr, because Tumblr has a really bad rep, because a lot of anti-social justice people and MRAs and things, you know, they're very quick to pick out the extremely radical, bad people on Tumblr, and suddenly all of us are evil on there. Every Tumblr feminist is evil. But actually there's this really nice community on there where women kind of support each other. And I think that's lovely. Like, I have so many compliments from women, and it's pleasant because they're not like sexually objectifying, demeaning compliments. They're genuinely nice compliments, like, you're a beautiful person, or I appreciate you, or you have lovely hair and lovely eyebrows. Just a little message for any men that might be watching this, as in I'm talking about the trolls and anti-feminist blokes watching this, not the nice feminist allies that watch this and are really supportive and lovely. But to those people watching this, something you need to know is that a compliment is something that's kind and nice for the receiver to receive. Like, if I read a message which says, Claudia, I really appreciate you and I hope you have a lovely day, that's nice, that's a compliment, I'm not going to complain about that. But when I get someone going, nice tits, I just had a wank over them, that's not a compliment, that's actually really disgusting, and funnily enough most women don't actually like or appreciate that. Something else that's happened because I'm kind of semi-known-ish online, on Tumblr or on YouTube for feminism, is that I get asked for a lot of advice by people, and this is really strange for me, and it's quite difficult because I really want to be able to help people and advise them, but I'm no authority on anything. I don't even consider myself a successful human being or a successful adult. I mean, I'm really not the sort of person that people should look up to, really. I don't think, anyway, because I've mucked up so many times in my past. You know, I used to be, like, a completely different person, and a person I'm really not proud of. So I'm just glad that I can turn it around, and that with the education I've had online and with being exposed to different groups and things, I'm just so glad that I've had the chance to kind of turn things around and be a better person and maybe work for change. But I'm not this great person, and I get, especially, it's difficult when people send me things that are like asking advice on their relationships and things as well. Like, people ask me, like, Claudia, what should I do? Like, me and my boyfriend aren't getting on, should I break up with him? That, you should never ask me that. I will always say break up with him, because like, I have no tolerance for people treating me badly. Like, I have such a low tolerance for that, which is probably why I have very few friends, but a group of very close friends that I feel like are kind of actually like sisters to me, because I just don't get keeping people around who are gonna make you feel bad. I don't understand the meaning of that. Also, I'm kind of wary of the fact that people trust me as well. I am wary of that. I don't think it's a good idea for someone to put their 100% trust into somebody they just see making videos and posts on the internet, because, I mean, these people don't know me in real life. I mean, I could be the most awful person alive in real life. I like to think I'm not, but yeah, I don't like the idea of giving someone that much trust and putting them on a pedestal, that kind of thing, and I think that can be dangerous. So, although it sounds really weird to say it, I want to protect people that are reading my blog or watching my channel. So, basically don't trust me 100%. And that sounds like a really weird thing to say in a video, but I just don't think it's a good idea to put someone on a pedestal and think that everything they say is really right and really cool. And always challenge your idols, basically. Challenge people you admire, challenge people even in your groups. Like, I think that's really important in feminism especially. Never just follow what somebody else tells you. Listen to the people you admire and then make your own mind up based on what you know and your own judgments. So that's important. I don't want anyone to be like, you know, listening to what I say and thinking, oh, that's absolutely right, because, you know, I fuck up all the time and I also have a lot of privilege, so there's that. I've got a couple of videos that have been made about me. That's another thing that's come of this whole situation where my YouTube channel's kind of got a bit more popular. There are a couple of videos, more than a couple actually, of videos apparently debunking me. And that is interesting and strange to me, and I have to admit they are kind of creepy, because some of them, there's a couple of them where the guys making them like have these really creepy voices and they don't show their faces on the camera and they just sit there like you know, making odd comments about me and that kind of thing. And there was one guy that that was talking about how the Nazis would love to rape me. I believe he said they'd pass her around like, I can't remember what it was like, but some sort of metaphor, some disgusting metaphor for the Nazis wanting to rape me. It's just really, really weird. And then they call me princess and that kind of thing, you know, because of course they have to demean what a woman says politically in some way, and their way of doing that for me has kind of been, you know, oh, she's a pampered, spoiled little princess, that kind of thing, which is really irritating, because I'm really not. I mean, I don't feel like I have to defend myself in that way in this video, and I don't want to be pushed into talking about stuff in my life and private stuff just to defend myself, you know. If I feel ready to talk about that kind of thing, then I will, but I'm not going to do it in response to these people, because there's just no point and I don't want to. I've had people making videos about how I'm a liar and mentally ill and that kind of thing. I mean, I am mentally ill. I'm not a liar, I don't think. I mean, I tell white lies sometimes to my family and stuff, but I mean, I think everyone does that. I hope. I do that. And I've had people saying that I'm pretending to be queer online, that I'm pretending to be bisexual, that I'm pretending to be half Indian. That's an odd one, because obviously, you know, being well-known-ish, my family know I do this, and they would notice. They would notice if I was pretending to be half Indian online, and they'd probably say, Claudia, what are you doing? What are you playing at? What are you doing? Yeah, so there's that. That's incredibly weird. And some of them can get quite obsessive, which is quite worrying, because, you know, like I said before about people that comment on my videos, these people actually go back through videos I've made in the past when I was younger and stuff, and hunt me down online, like hunt down my various profiles online and try to get stuff on me, which is scary. And I think it's harassment, really. It's like online stalking, and I think that's very disgusting. So I'm very wary of that. And I've actually had the police involved. I'm not going to talk about that too much here, but I have had the police involved with something like that before. So yeah, I'm not afraid to report that kind of thing, by the way. Just in case you are one of those stalking kind of people, you know, I will just go straight to the police, so, you know. Another thing that happens all the time, which is, I think all feminists online get this. Yeah, I really do think this is something that most feminists online get, actually. I think a lot of people will relate to this, is that you have to constantly reassure your audience that you don't hate men. I mean, personally, I don't understand why it would be such a massive deal if a woman did hate men. Personally, because of the amount of hate that women get from men in general, you know, misogyny and the oppression that goes on within the patriarchy right now, and what's going on with women in other countries, and the fact that men are paid more, and you know, the shit that we're living in right now is because of a male-dominated society, although it does backfire on men too, so it is tough on men, but, you know, they are kind of doing much better out of it than us, and they're the only ones with the power to change it, really. So, I'm getting away from that topic, but this is what I don't get. It's when women hate men, like, the result of that is usually that maybe they might hurt the feelings of their nearest and dearest male relatives or whatever if they say they hate men. I mean, some tears might be shed, and maybe this woman would go and talk to her friends and be like, you know what, girls, I really, really hate men, and then the women would have a bit of a gossip about it and share their stories about men. But you see, when a man hates a woman, it's completely different, because when men hate women, what you get is rape culture, misogynistic killings, you get young girls being sexualised. You get all that shit going on that we're kind of in right now. So it's not really equivalent, really. You can't really say that they are the same. This is why I think that misandry and misogyny, like, misandry isn't even a thing. Misandry is like a joke that feminists have picked up on just to frighten MRAs and men that are particularly oppressive and full of bullshit. I think they're afraid of the system tipping so that women are on top and men are on the bottom, because they can't actually see a world in which gender is not, in which one gender is not on top of the other genders. You know, because all they can see is the system they're in now. They don't seem to have the imagination to see outside of that. So when they hear about feminism, they don't actually bother to listen to what we're saying about society and gender roles and stereotypes and things like sexism and that kind of thing, and racism. It all links together. All they see is a role reversal of the system we have now, which scares them a lot, which is why a lot of feminists online call themselves misandrous. They're not actually misandrous, they just say it to scare those particular men, and it is quite amusing. Also, women don't actually have the power for their hate to do damage. I mean, it's like how if a black person says they hate white people, or they hate a white supremacist system, it's not actually going to stop them from being denied a job or getting racially profiled or even shot by the police, which is happening in America right now. You can't fire the boss, it's not possible. That is a metaphor I read online, which I think is a brilliant way of explaining oppression at a very, very basic level. The oppressed class is, or the oppressed group, is the employee, and the oppressive system and the people that benefit from that are the bosses or the boss. You can't fire the boss, because if you fire the boss, then you will just get laughed out of the boardroom and you'll be fired. That was an Alan Sugar impression that was terrible. Yeah. But anyway, I thought I would answer that definitively in this video. Obviously, I don't hate men. If I did hate men, I don't think it would be that much of a big deal, really, to be honest, because as I've said, a single woman hating a man on the internet isn't really going to do terrible things to the male gender as a whole, to be honest, and there are a lot of things that the male gender have done to women over the years and are still doing to women, which, you know, are very hateful. But I don't personally hate men. I see a lot of feminist male feminist allies, because I don't really know if men should be called feminists or not. I don't know, that's a debate that's kind of going on within the feminist kind of groups online right now, which I'm kind of haven't made up my mind on yet. But yeah, I see a lot of great men there, and like obviously like I love my brother, who's like my favourite person in the world, and I love my granddad, and I love my dad, and I don't hate men. I just think that too many of them are passive when they're faced with these systems of oppression and their privilege. And I think sometimes that can be just as bad as being one of the men that's actually very misogynistic and hateful and even violent. I think that letting the system go unchallenged is just as bad as being one of the oppressors yourself. And I think too many men right now are happy to let the system go on as it is and support and defend the system, which is not right, because that's doing women and other genders that aren't men a real disservice, and it's putting us in danger. People are dying over this kind of thing. You can't stay passive about it anymore, guys. So this is me asking you, if you're a guy out there, to please stand with us, because, you know, if you let this stuff go by unchallenged, then how are you any better than the people that are doing this awful shit? So anyway, that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's longer than I thought because I didn't plan it at all. I just thought I'd better answer that question because I get asked it all the time, and I don't want people to think that I'm getting their questions and just ignoring them, and so many people have asked me that now that I thought, why not make a video, and then people will know that I am reading these questions and I am responding to them. Please do become a feminist online like me. I know I said that it can be horrible, and it can be horrible, and it can be really scary. Honestly, it can. But also think about all the good that comes of it. I know that I have been inspired by outspoken women from history, like Anne Boleyn. You know how much I adore Anne Boleyn and what she stood for. And also like modern day heroines, people like Laverne Cox especially is a special heroine of mine at the moment, because she's so just, I'm not going to make like a video declaring my love for Laverne Cox, but I do love Laverne Cox, and I just think she's brave and she's strong and she's incredible, because through all the hate she gets, all the time she's been pushed down in her life and oppressed, she just gets back up and refuses to let it beat her, and I love that spirit, and that's the spirit I kind of want for myself. And that's the spirit I want for you guys as well. So if you're out there and you're a feminist, maybe on the internet or on Tumblr or on your own blog or on YouTube, then just keep going with it, and you have my support, really. And yeah, let's destroy the patriarchy together and eradicate all the men. No, that was a joke. That was a joke. Calm down. I don't want to eradicate all the men. I just kind of think it would be pretty cool to get rid of the misogynists for a little while. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I love you all, and I'm sorry it's so long. Claudia Boleyn signing out.